Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to take a look at Tom Sawyer by Rush. So we're going to take a look at all the guitar parts here, including the solo. So we got some stuff to get to here. We are in standard tuning, and we're going to start with this opening riff, which is pretty much the verse of the song as well. So it's going to start here with just this open low E string, 3 hits on the low E. And then we're going to play an E major chord. So that's the 7th fret on the A string, and then borrowing the 9th fret on the D, G, and the B together. And then we're going to go here to this. So we're going to have, basically, it's going to be the 7th fret. We still have the low E's, same 3 hits, and then 7th fret on the A, 7 on the D, 7 on the G, 5 on the B, and you can also double that 5 for the open high E. All right, now we have 3 hits again, but the 3rd one is on the A string. And then you go into this chord, which is going to be the 3rd fret on the 1st string, the high E string, 3rd fret, B string 3rd fret, and then borrow across the 2nd fret on the G and the D. So you strum across from the open A across. Now that chord is, you know, when you hear these on the recording, they're actually doubled. That chord is doubled with this. So with another sus chord on top, and you're gonna hear that note in there on top of the chord. But Alex Lifeson, when he plays it live, he just does this and gets that top A note just an octave lower. And then the last chord of the progression, back to the 3 hits on the low E, and it's the same shape that you did here at the 5th fret, just down at the 3rd. Don't get the E string in there though. So we have this all together. So you do those again. All right, now we have this little transition, which is this. So that's basically, you're basically holding this 3rd fret on the A. You're going to mute the D string and have the open G and the 3rd fret on the B and the high E. Down to the 2nd fret now on the A string. Then to the open A. When you do that, move over and grab the 2nd fret on the D string. So you can really just kind of hit the 4 middle strings if you want, or get that G on top. Then do that again. And then we're back to the same progression pretty much, just play a slightly different rhythm. Now that first chord, when he plays it live, he likes to do this. So he plays this, same first chord, and then comes and strums this E major triad up here, 4th fret on the G, 5th on the B, and 4th on the high E. Let's play this. Now you could just stay on the first chord, it sounds good too. And then you just do that same rhythm on all the chords we did before. Now we do that little transition again. And there's a little different ending though. So it starts the same way. Now you're just going to go to 3-2-0 on the low E string. So you're going to have still have the same top notes. It's the 3rd fret now on the low E, 2, and then when you play the low E open, come over and grab the 2nd fret on the A string. So we have this. All right, now that takes care of the verse and the intro and the verse. Now, whenever you do that little transition that goes down to low E string, that's leading you into the pre-chorus, which is a really cool riff. So let me play that for you real quick. Here we go. All right, so it basically does that through 4 times, and it's kind of tricky because you have to accent those bass notes while still picking across the strings. The other notes that you're picking can't be as loud as that bass note does. So let's start here. We're going to start with just a low E power chord. Now while you're doing that, you're going to have the pinky at the 4th fret on the G and the B string. You're going to always keep going back to those 2 notes and letting them ring. So we have this. The low E power chord, so it's just a low E open string with the 2nd fret on the A, and then upstroke on the those two B unisons, and then now you're gonna bar your 2nd fret there at the 6th fret and the 5th. I'm sorry, the 6th string and the 5th string. So we have this. Now what I did there is I accented when I played the note on the 6th string, lightly picked the note on the 5th, and then hit the chord. So we had this. So you can hear that note on the 5th string was still there. It was just a lot quieter. All right, from there we do this. So you still have this hanging out here. You're going to come up here to the 3rd fret on the low E. You're going to accent that note, and then lightly pick the 2nd fret on the A string and the open D. Then accent the open A, so we have this. And then lightly, you're gonna move to this chord. You still have these 2 notes hanging out. You're gonna play the 2nd fret on the D and that chord again. So the 2nd group is this. So we have this. So far, from there, you're already holding this note, so you're going to pick now that 2nd fret on the D string, accent that, and then those 2 notes with an upstroke. I keep hitting the 2 B's with an upstroke. So you do that, and then accent the 3rd fret on the A, while picking lightly on the 2nd fret on the D, and back to this chord. So we have this. One more time. So I'm gonna really breaking this down slow because it's kind of a hard riff to understand. And then 2nd fret now accented on the A. Those chords, upstroke, open A, accented. Those same chords again. And then the last note you accent is the 3rd fret on the low E. So really you want to listen for this. Okay, so those are the notes you're bringing out in the bass line while you're really pretty much adding some arpeggiated notes while always holding this. So all together. Repeat. All right, so we're just going to basically do that 4 times, and coming out of that 4th time, we get to the chorus. Now let me play the chorus. It's a pretty easy part. All right, so pretty easy chords. You're gonna play this B major chord. I'm sorry, you start with the B suspended 2nd chord. So that's a bar at the 2nd fret while playing the 4th fret on the D and the G. Strum across 5 strings there. From the 5th string. That's the first chord you're gonna play. To the A power chord. To now G sus2. So we're gonna play 3rd fret on the low E, mute the A string with the bottom of the 2nd finger there, open D string, and the 2nd fret on the G. So this, from here, then back to the B, now to the B major, the A, back to that G sus2, back to the A, and now that chord is just basically going to be the open low E string. This ends the chorus. Open low E, 2nd fret on the A and the D, and the 4th fret on the G. So hit those together, and then the high E and the B string open. You can add the top of the chord. So basically hit the bottom 4 strings and then the top 4. All right, now from there we have a keyboard melody that we can arrange for guitar pretty easy, and then the guitar comes in and plays with that an octave lower. So it sounds like this. So that's the keyboard melody, it's just gonna repeat. So we're gonna be playing 10-7 on the B if you wanna play this keyboard part. And then 9 on the B to 9 on the G. Then 7 on the B to 7 on the G. So we have this. Now we start over, it's just the last 2 notes are different. Instead of going 7 from the B to the 7 on the G, you go 7 on the B to 9 on the D. So we have this. So you play both of those versions back to back. And repeat. All right, and then the guitar comes in and plays with that and sounds like this. All right, and that goes into the guitar solo. So the guitar part there is 7 on the A to 9 on the, 7 on the D, so A note, 7 on the D to 9 on the A. Then shift down to the 6th fret there on the D string, 6 there, 7 on the A. Then same thing down 2 frets, 4 on the D, 5 on the A. Then we start back up here again, and that goes the 7-9 again, the 6-7 again, but now we shift over to the 5th fret on the A to the 7th fret on the low E. So we have this all together. And just repeat that. All right, you're gonna see that again at the end of the guitar solo here. So let me play through this guitar solo real quick for you. It's a pretty quick one, but you know, it's Alex Lifeson, so it's got some crazy stuff in it. So here we go. All right, so we're gonna start here at the 1st fret on the G string, slide to 4, and slide to 7. Easy enough. And then we have this. Now that's a little quick trill. So a little quick trill between 11 and 13 on the G string. So do that real quick. And you slide quickly up to 14 and then come back down and pick 13. So we have this. All right, from there we're gonna do this. That's now hammering 11 to 13 on the G, pull off to 11, slide to 7, and slide into 9. All right, now we have a quick little legato lick. So that's going to go pull off 10 to 9 on the beat. Hammer back on 10, slide up to 12. And then it slides off that note. And we're just going to have this. Okay, hammer 5 to 7 on the low E. And then play 5 on the A string. Now from here, it's going to get a little bit erratic. These parts, they're he's kind of just going for it, kind of a thing. So it's a slight bend of the 5th fret on the B string. And from there, we're going to go, after that bend, you're going to pick 3, pull off to the open B, hammer on 2, and then pick 3 and then bend it up a whole step on the second pick. Now right here, we're going to have this little lick. So right there, what he's doing, he's kind of messing around with hammering on 0 to 2 on the high E, and then back to the open. So it's kind of one of those erratic licks. It's kind of hard to get exactly right because he's just there's not a lot of definition to a lot of the notes. So we have basically he does this and comes over to the 2nd fret on the B string, then hammer pull off 3 2 to 0 on the B. One more time. And then he's gonna, one thing he does do is he ends at 3 5 on the B. So we just kind of mess around. So on these notes, do kind of like a quick little legato lick between 0 2 on the open high E and 3 2 0 on the B, and then end it 3 5. That's pretty much all he's doing there. All right, and then we're gonna have this. All right, so once again, you're gonna see this as kind of a little pentatonic bass lick. Pull off, you're gonna pick 15, and then pick it again and pull off to 12. Then 14 on the B, 12 on the high E, back to 14 on the B. So all together. And then hammer on 12 to 15, back to 12. So we have this. And then I'm gonna play 12, 14 on the B, 12 on the high E, and then a slight bend at the 14 on the B string. So all together for that little part up here in the 12th position. Kind of has that really kind of slightly out of tune effect to it. All right, I'm sure you can hear that on the album. And then we're gonna do this. We're finally gonna pull off 15 to 12. This is when it gets kind of starts coming back to like a more melodic phrasing. Pulling off 15 to 12 on the B, over to 14 on the G, back 12, 15 on the B, and a whole step bend and release, and then play 12 on the high E, and a slow half step bend on the high E string. So all right, and now we have a slightly like a tremolo pick thing. Really alternate pick since he is kind of synchronizing it with the left hand. It's just going to be a combination 16, 17, 19 on the high E string. So, 16, 17, 19 back down to 17. So just repeat those notes. And okay, so we're going to I just alternate pick that. Just a 4-note sequence repeated. Then into a random kind of effect of like, he's gonna bend up a whole step on the 19th fret and just kind of release it. Is this kind of a random effect where he's doing some tremolo picking up and really bending it up and keeping it bent sometimes doing multiple bends for 2 whole beats. And then he goes back into that familiar riff we did earlier. Just a little bit different ending there. So the same first time through it is the same. From there, we do this. That's that 7 to that 9. You've seen this before. 7 on the D, 9 to the A, 6 on the D, to 7 on the A, to 4 on the D, and 5 twice on the A. And then we're going to end the solo with 5, 7 on the low E, 5, 7 on the A. All right, so then we go back through, all those sections again. The only thing, a part we haven't taken a look at yet, is that alto rhythm, which sounds like this. It's got a really cool feel about it. So we're gonna still do that kind of 4 on the G and then the B string together. So we're gonna start like this. Pick the low E string, and basically I hold this chord right here. We get the 2nd fret across the A and the D, and then the 4th fret on the G and the open B. So we have this. Hit the 6th string and the 5th string together, and then you're gonna hit the 5th string and the 4th string together, and then upstroke on those 2 unison notes. We have this. You kind of want to accent those, kind of climb it up through the chord. And then, if you really want those notes to come out, just hit them as single notes. And then we're going to do this. Open E again, and then grab this chord, which basically keep that pinky there, 4th fret on the D, 4th fret on the A, and then the 2nd fret on the low E. And then pick across that. Again, so we have this. And that just keeps going until it fades out. So it's a fun song that is, except for the pre-chorus, it's not that difficult to play. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.